Okay.
Hello, welcome to another episode of Playing Telephone. I'm Scarlett Sanchez.
I'm Dennis Kluba.
How are you doing?
I'm good. I feel like I'm finally back on like West Coast hours. I had been traveling between hometown St. Louis, back here for 2 or 3 days, and then Atlanta for a wedding.
Yeah.
I was at a ceremony of love, and whilst I was at it,
There was a lot of love crumbling.
yeah, all around me.
Yeah.
How about you? How are you feeling this week?
I feel great.
Yeah, you look great.
Thank you.
I love
I'm rocking the overalls.
Yeah.
I'm like 2 weeks early for Stagecoach.
Feels summery though.
Yeah.
I like it.
Still got the sun from Mexico, so I'm feeling
Yeah.
I had to show my
you're
arms a
working it
little
right
bit.
now. I got you.
But craziest news, I feel like that really threw me off. I was not expecting this. Taylor Swift has been long committed to her boyfriend, Joe Alwyn. And she's been on tour for her Eras tour, where a lot of her songs have been love songs about Joe, and people have been talking about how, wow, she really is with quote unquote the one. Mm-hmm. But the news broke, or quote unquote leaked, apparently, that Taylor Swift and Joe have officially broken up after being 6 years together.
I mean, I could not, it was almost something that like passed over.
Yeah.
Like people were saying it, and I was like, no.
There's no way.
Like, it's impossible.
Yeah.
I mean, I think that it was more for me, the thing that made him seem like that relationship seem like it for her was that we just know that typically her relationships are kind of short lived, and they kind of, like they happen and then she's next one. And the fact that this was 6 years, I just never saw those two splitting.
Yeah. And also we've been hearing over the years, marriage, were they secretly married? Were they secretly engaged? Yeah. All these different things. And not only were her relationships maybe short-lived, but also in very much the public eye, where this one was super private. And we've talked so much about how, I feel like those ones work out.
Yeah.
Which maybe we're wrong here. But they said that the breakup was amicable, of course. We're going to stay friends, the classic. But People magazine went into a little bit more detail, saying that they have like very different personalities and that was not working out. And they met, so they met Met Gala 2016, officially became public in 2017. But this was really during her Reputation era, where she was out from the public. So she was very
reserved.
Very reserved. Even though we don't see Taylor Swift out often, I feel like this was very much so her like hermit phase, to put it lightly.
Her hermit era.
Her hermit era, during Reputation or right after. And then COVID happened, so they had that little bubble too. And then essentially, like, once their lives picked up again, it was harder for them, and they realized that they just like don't really see eye to eye on some things, or their personalities were just getting too hard. But they both had busy years. Obviously, we talked about she's had her Eras tour. Yeah. He was in 2 films. He was in Hulu's, what's that one show? Something about conversations. And then he just landed in a new movie too that was announced today. And he's going to go to Hungary to film that. But yeah, they definitely are both busy people. But I never really feel like that's a big enough excuse, because when you date in that limelight, that's just going to happen. You're going to have busy schedules.
Yeah. I think that too, something that somebody brought up, because like you're definitely correct. I feel like prior to that Reputation tour, it wasn't so much that we like a lot of those relationships before. She did have kind of like, I feel like a little bit more party out in the limelight than she did for the past 6 years. And maybe this is just almost like a very gradual reverberation of, we saw so many people break up during COVID. Yeah. And like, maybe it just was that during that time, she just wasn't out touring, wasn't very busy, and like was a lot more in one place. And that made things easier for Joe. Yeah. And now it's just that, hey, like now that the real world is happening again, like we just don't like each other that much anymore.
Yeah. And I never get that, because it's like when you know you're going to date someone like Taylor Swift, you should know what you're kind of getting yourself into. Yeah. Like Lady Gaga has talked about this multiple times. Anytime she books something huge, her relationship seems to fall apart, and then it ends when she dates someone new. But a lot of people are talking a little bit about some of course, Taylor's known for her Easter eggs, did this breakup happen actually over the weekend, or has she been sprinkling things throughout her tour to signal some of her fans? Like, for example, she changed her set list and she added the song The One into it. Another thing that I saw on TikTok.
Which is a breakup song, and she replaced it for Invisible String, which is much more like finding someone after having a lot of heartbreak.
Yeah.
So just going directly the opposite of a love song to I thought you were the one, it didn't work out.
Yep.
My God.
I know.
It's juicy.
I know. And there was a one part, I don't know, obviously these are unconfirmed, but in one of her performances, when she's singing Now We Got Bad Blood, she burns the Lover house, which Lover, that song, is apparently about Joe too.
Yeah.
So is that her burning their relationship? That one, I don't know.
Yeah.
Another one was Champagne Problems. That video was going viral for getting emotional while singing that.
And and he's credited on that as writing it with her.
Yeah.
With a lot of other songs on those two albums that, because during COVID or quarantine, they were writing together just because, and they even spoke about it how when she was doing like that documentary about writing those, about how they talked about this could be a bad idea.
Yeah.
And they're like, you know what? Like, we never get this opportunity. Like, let's just try it. We're literally stuck here alone.
Right.
And now I feel like we're literally going to see the fallout of, I mean, writing songs with we've seen this in the past with other like bandmates that have, you know, like Fleetwood Mac and stuff like that. Like, I mean, that person's just always going to be a part of a very emotional performance if you ever sing that.
Yeah.
And it's just like, gosh, I cannot imagine.
Oh, yeah. There's like a lot of little pieces
Yeah.
to put together for this too, because I mean, I feel like you love to talk about this too, about like marketing, everything that's been brought up in a conversation. Did they actually break up months ago, a couple months ago, maybe a few weeks ago?
Yeah.
And it's kind of a lull. She's on a multiple day, I think 13 day hiatus for a tour. And people weren't catching on to the news that she'd broken up with him based on her little hints.
Yeah.
And also it's kind of like a dead time. She wasn't getting talked about a lot. There's been some rumors too that maybe she dropped this, leaked the news. So people are now talking only Taylor Swift right now. Do you think it could be to that extent? Or maybe they talked about holding the conversation until the time was right, but really when is the time right?
Never right time.
Yeah.
I think, truthfully, like her stardom, and she is definitely an icon. I definitely don't think that she needs to do any more marketing than what she already does.
I know.
I do think there might have been a conversation of, hey, here's the reality. This is happening, and her manager, you know, her people that are close to her, like, when do you want this to kind of come out?
Yeah.
When's going to be the easiest? And I think that that's the thing where Taylor could have, like you said, leaked it as in like, okay, this is really the best time for this to happen. But now she feels like she could handle it. I really don't think she could, like, as much of a hand as she has in her production and her tour. I very much doubt that she was coerced into like, hey, we should release it now because it'll be good for sales.
Yeah.
She's like, I could give a shit about selling more tickets, or like, I have enough money.
Yeah, she can do that, but I do think she likes kind of giving those Easter eggs to her fans.
She definitely does.
I could see her still hinting at her breakup, though. I don't know if that's true, but I could see that part.
Before.
Yeah. And honestly, it makes sense because I don't think the day after I broke up with my boyfriend, I'd be like, "Hey, press, guess what?" Like, I would let my freaking heart settle down a little bit. Yeah.
Cool.
But those rumors that we were talking about, though, not married. Page Six did an interview or did an article and said that they were never actually married. There was no ceremony because Demois had a few posts out that a lot of people were saying that they did get married in the UK, had a committal ceremony essentially, but weren't legally married. And they were even shutting that down. Page Six did. And there was also rumors that she was already dating someone new. Apparently confirmed by Page Six, she is single. That'd be quick.
I'd be dying for him. I'd be like done with this.
Yeah.
That would be terrible.
Yeah.
How we have to ask these questions. If you ask me, I know what my answer is, but I'm going to ask you.
Okay.
This relationship was real, right?
Yes.
There was no PR ability about this. There were conversations that we have even had on this podcast a while back about people always say that she might have had a thing with former bestie Carly Kloss a while back. That kind of had a falling out. There's been Easter eggs, kind of what we, fan fiction on some songs.
Yeah.
This wasn't, but this, you're thinking that Joe and her, that was a very real.
I think that was real.
I think it was. I think so too.
I do. And I think they broke up a couple months ago or a few months ago, which is why, she's looking.
Taking time.
She looks okay.
Yeah. As okay as you can be. After
not
6
okay.
years. Yeah.
But I feel like after a breakup, you might want to get that ice cream a little bit. I'm not trying to sing my heart out. Although
Taylor's
that is
Rocky Road.
That's probably therapeutic though. I feel like if I just broke up, I'd be
yeah. If you were good.
Wait, I suck.
Wait, weird.
Wait, I don't know how to sing.
You go through a breakup and you're just I just want to podcast a ton. I just want to get it out there.
I'd be down for that. If I could sing, I would want that to be my outlet.
I agree with that.
In the shower.
My other question for you is there any validity to, everybody talks about this with how many relationships she had previously and how short-lived they were.
Yeah.
Is Taylor the problem in this?
No! Get out. No,
I don't think so. That's what I'm saying.
Literally, you can bring that up about Emily Ratajkowski. You can bring that up about any people, Pete Davidson, man, woman, whatever.
Okay.
Everybody goes through and dates people. She's 33 years old. She just went through a 6-year breakup, whatever.
6-year relationship.
Great. 6-year relationship.
Yeah.
No, I don't think that. Wait, what was the question again?
She's the problem.
She's not the problem.
But I think
people date.
I think that this proved not only to other people that she's not the problem.
Yeah.
Because originally I think that the thing that kind of felt like a red flag to me was that all those relationships were so short and they just felt like they were one after the other.
Yeah.
This feels like there was somebody there for 6 years that, that was by far, from what we know, the longest relationship that she had been in. And that's why it feels like, okay, it's not that she's a serial dater or anything. It's before it just proves she just wasn't hitting it off with those people.
Right.
And Joe, she did. If you ask me, I think that for some period of time, or even if it was quarantine or whatever, that was, 6 years is a long time.
And that was the right person for her in that moment in time for her life. 2, she was dating different people in whatever, Hollywood, whatever it may be.
Yeah.
But the only thing that I can see her being a problem is because she's a successful woman.
Yeah.
And maybe someone doesn't know how to deal with that.
Ego, issues.
It gets to them, whatever. Maybe it is the schedule. Maybe it is the fact that they have bigger fame, whatever it may be. But you should just be okay with that. Ariana Grande, married to someone who's not in Hollywood. There's a lot of people who are married to people who aren't in the business, and they're okay with that. And there's nothing wrong with that. You know what I mean? It's just, can you handle it? Yeah.
I think too, this isn't I don't know. And obviously, I just feel like you mentioned it before. When you're going to go date somebody like Taylor Swift, who's so accomplished and has legit already reached icon status at 33 years old.
Yeah.
She's obviously been she's goofy and in her personality and stuff like that. But that she's a superstar.
Yeah.
And you're sharing her with the world. So you're right. It's almost to Joe, if that was what the big issue was, you kind of, I don't know. It's almost like you have to buck up.
Then. Yeah. You should be proud of your partner, not jealous of your partner.
If that was an issue.
Yeah.
But I think it probably came down to a lot of difference because I do see him as very quiet. It's almost just something about his face. I don't know. I feel like he gives me very quiet, very reserved. Yeah. And I feel like now that she's touring again and doing so much work, and it's going to be for however long, I'm sure she's touring for 6 months to a year, is that she's just going back to her normal superstardom that maybe he, like you said, couldn't handle like, oh, like, you're not going to be around. You're not going to be there for me. Like,
yeah. But then at the same time, it's like every relationship, whether you're a superstar or not, there might be a time where your partner gets this insane opportunity where they're going to be working their ass off for 60 a year. And it's like, yeah, you know what? I am going to like, maybe I'm not getting as much attention as I would like in our relationship right now, but I'm going to be there and I'm going to support you. And a year later, when like you finish that project, 6 months, whatever the time period may be, like, okay, yeah, we got through that together. Like, it's not always going to be a very stable, not everything's always going to be the same in your relationship.
Sometimes we act like, especially in the celebrity relationships, that there aren't people that do like long distance through med school.
Yeah.
Or like long distance through law school, or like
at all different levels, whatever it may be.
Completely. And the thing that's always funny too is that these people have the resources to meet up.
Right.
Essentially whenever they want to.
And make it work.
Joe and Taylor have the money, like, hey, if you really wanted to see me for 2 nights, a night, private jet, like literally they could fly private.
That's why I don't think scheduling was an issue. I think they genuinely just grew apart. And it wasn't working.
Gosh.
Yeah.
I mean, I just can't even imagine too, like, we're not artists or anything like that, like musically but like having a whole body of work, like, Folklore and Evermore. Like, she has so much that's wrapped up in like songs with people, but I feel like those two were a person wrapped up in 2 albums. So like, and with her performing on tour, like every time that has to be a flashback to, that's like,
but that's been her whole life.
It's
like,
true.
All of her songs have been about someone technically, but that's why I think, well, first of all, her songs specifically about Joe have been skyrocketing on Spotify, Apple streams, but 2,
Bring in the
this
cash.
Next album is going to be just
insane. Well, if she was writing what she was writing about 6-month relationships,
I mean, imagine.
But also I was thinking about her getting checks cut, for like all of her streaming.
Yeah.
You're also sending checks to Joe.
No, you're not.
Co-writer. She's not.
Yeah,
but the label is.
I'm sure they signed some sort of thing.
Yeah. Like,
when we break up, you will no longer get profits.
He definitely still will.
Post nut breakup. What's it called? I don't know.
I don't know
Legal
what that
hat,
is.
lawyer hat.
Okay. Next question is there like who is
Taylor Swift?
Who is she? Is there any person that you can think top of your head?
No.
There's no one, right?
There's no one. I mean, that will reach
Taylor can't have love. She's too big. She's too giant. She's too superstar. There's got to be. Is it a normal guy?
There's no one who's on the top of my head, honestly.
Yeah.
I think that who Taylor ends up with will be someone who will support her.
Great.
Who will be
bare minimum
the same level as her, but in a different way. You know what I mean?
I would say, like not in the industry for some reason.
I know. We always say that though. I'm like, I wish there was somebody who was in the industry that could just like work out.
Yeah.
Like you think about Blake Lively and Ryan Reynolds. They're both in that TV acting world, but they both bring different strengths to their relationship. And I think they both work out really great.
Yeah.
So I still think somebody in the industry can work. It's just someone genuine. I don't know.
Yeah.
More similar personality, apparently, according to the People magazine.
Apparently. Could you see her not ever? Like kind of just like always
like
being
Jennifer Aniston?
in. Yeah.
I was thinking about today because I was like, I wonder if she'll have kids. Because like everybody has their different timeline. Get married at a younger age, get married at an older age, whatever it may be. I don't even want to say older, later in life, whatever. Have kids at different times. Like Rihanna just had a kid, but then you have Kylie Jenners who had their kid at 20 years old. Yeah. Bieber's getting married at 21. Like all these different things. People have their different timelines set in their mind. So I don't know. Maybe she will find someone and maybe she won't. Yeah. But the good thing is she doesn't have that pressure, I guess.
Yeah, no, you're right. Wow. So many questions unanswered that we'll just have to see how it like shakes out for her.
Yeah.
This was shattering for me. You know that I don't know if I'm a Swiftie, but I'm as close to not being a Swiftie as you can be.
You're not a Swiftie, but you're a Taylor Swift like fan.
Yeah, I'm saying like I don't think I'd be allowed in the group.
Yeah.
Because I don't think I have the credentials.
Yeah.
But I'm like I couldn't be in the club because I'm not a big enough fan. but I'm like JV.
You're right there.
JV.
JV.
Yeah. Yeah.
Fullman, Subman.
Like if there's if you need anybody, I can help out. Yeah. But on the opposite end of the spectrum, who got engaged this weekend?
I know.
Or today was Millie Bobby Brown and I think Jake Bongiovi. Yeah. Because I always don't want to say John Bon Jovi. It's Jake.
It's John. It's Bon Jovi's son.
Yeah. John Bon Jovi's the dad, and then Jake Bongiovi is the son, who's 20, and Millie Bobby Brown's 19.
Yeah.
But they've been dating for 2 years now.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Which is what we were just talking about, honestly, in terms of timeline. 19, 20-year-old getting married, getting engaged.
Yeah. Any reservations?
Well, this has been like
things?
trending on Twitter all day because she is 19 specifically, has been trending on Twitter all day because people are like, she's too young to get married.
Wow.
They're too young. Obviously, she's been acting since she was 11 or 12.
Yeah.
Stranger Things was her big breakout. Her and Jake have only been dating for a couple of years, but yeah, I mean, they posted on Instagram. She even quoted Taylor Swift, speaking of. What is the quote from?
Love her.
Spent the 3 summers. I want to spend the rest of them with you.
All.
Hashtag Swifties.
Yeah.
But personally, like, I could not have gotten married at 19 years old. I couldn't have.
Yeah.
But I do kind of think, like, when I brought up Kylie, I was thinking, like, when you've had so much success at a young age, sometimes, like, Kylie had already had her own very successful business.
Yeah.
Granted, like, yeah, like, there's some nepotism in that, whatever you guys want to call that. But she'd already had a successful business. She'd already dated a lot of people. She'd already experienced so much in life. She was like, I want to be a mom. So to me, like, I don't know why Kylie Jenner having a baby to me was not that crazy, because it's like, yeah, she did so much. Where for me, at 19, I was in college. I didn't have my own business.
Yeah.
I still had so many things that I wanted to accomplish.
Yeah.
Where sometimes I think those timelines are based on where you want to be and what you want to accomplish at a certain point. Not everybody has that, but that's kind of how my mind works with it.
I completely agree with you. Like a lot of times I was compared to like athletes that start really, really young, like especially like in soccer.
Yeah.
They get married and have kids very young because at 18 they're already adults that have their own home, and it's like, oh, like I'm basically already a 25-year-old.
Right.
They're not in college partying. I do think though, and it's funny too, with like people getting married versus having kids is almost like people have always and will forever say to people that get married young, you're too young. So like that's kind of like a cliche that just exists. Yeah. The thing that I'm most excited about is that he's 20 as well.
The fact that there's not a massive
that they're
age
like,
gap.
yeah, that they're
it's
like
not a 20-year-old and a 30-year-old.
I would have
50-year-old.
way more reservations about that.
Yeah. They're both young and in love. If it works out, it does. If it doesn't,
who cares?
They'll be 25 and looking again.
Exactly. Exactly. Do you think Drake's pissed?
Whatever. Drake has too many other people on his mind to be pissed about Millie Bobby Brown.
That's a good point. He's got, but also that probably, because remember when they have such weird like best friend energy when she was like 15?
Sus.
Yeah, exactly. That's why I'm like, with Drake and all the shit that he's got going on, I'm sure he was like, Millie, are you kidding me?
I know.
I'm doing all this stuff with Kanye and Kim, and now you get married behind my back?
I doubt they still chat. Do you think so?
They were best friends. I don't know.
She's engaged now. You got to cut
true.
that off.
That's true. You got to cut
rid of
out
the exes.
the guy best friends. Yeah.
Yeah, but I mean, hopefully they work out. We'll see. They're young.
I mean, it's almost like, who cares?
Yeah, I know.
Like, it's like they're so young. It's like,
if they don't,
you're like everybody else.
Yeah.
But things haven't cooled down with Scandoval. And it's, like I said, haven't cooled down is such a mild term. It's only gotten more crazy with more details coming out.
More details, which I think have made it messier, because I think it was a little bit like Tom cheated on Ariana with Raquel. XYZ, it was very clear. Now I feel like we're hearing Lala, we're hearing Katie, we're hearing Schwartz, we're hearing everybody's opinion on it.
Yeah.
And it's, I don't know. For me, it's personally gotten a little bit confusing because I kind of felt like I had like a clear understanding of it.
Yeah.
And now it seems did everybody actually know? Because some of the details that are coming to light with trips that were taken, with how long this relationship was going on, with Lala and Katie saying they apparently did know. So did you guys know or did you not know? I'm getting a little bit frustrated here.
Yeah. So basically a bunch of different people made appearances this week.
Yeah.
Tom Sandoval on Howie Mandel's podcast, right? Mm-hmm. And then the other one was Tom Schwartz was on Watch What Happens Live last week. Mm-hmm. Both of them dropped some bombshells on timelines, what was happening, etc. What was Sandoval saying on? He was talking more candidly because it's from him.
Yeah.
On kind of his relationship with Raquel.
Yeah, with Raquel, and a lot about Ariana too, I would say.
Oh yeah.
Because I feel like he was trying to give his side of it. Because let's just go back a week with Tom Schwartz on Watch Happens Live, and Andy was at the reunion, so the reunion has already been filmed at this point. He's like, wait a second, Schwartz, you told me this at the reunion. And then Schwartz is kind of backpedaling. He's like, okay, let me really lay it out for you guys. I had heard about Tom and Raquel hooking up in August, and that was it. And in my mind, it was just a one-time thing.
Right.
And that was it. One night stand.
Of course, doesn't say anything. It's his boy.
Obviously not great, but which we've known that in that show, they all cheat and the boys just cover it up.
Yeah.
And then come January, though, Tom Sandoval allegedly tells Schwartz, I'm in love with Raquel. And at this point, though, Schwartz is saying that Sandoval has told him multiple times, like, I've tried to break up with Ariana. Like, I really am on the outs with her. Like, we're really not together, even though we are together.
Yeah.
So that was Schwartz's understanding, because they also did this trip in Big Bear where people were really calling them out, because there's photos of that trip where it's Raquel, Tom, Schwartz, and this other woman named Joe, who's apparently, like, not seeing but also might be seeing. Same thing. Sus.
But also, if you're Ariana... I am not sending my boyfriend on a 4-person trip to Big Bear.
Okay. And Schwartz said he snuck her in. He did not know Raquel was coming, apparently. But exactly to your point, though. So the big thing that's come out recently... Well, let's get into Sandoval and Howie Mandel in a second, because I want to bring up them going to St. Louis really quickly. Just because what you're saying, it's like, how did Ariana know this? How did Ariana not know that Tom was in St. Louis with Raquel? So a new picture has come out with Tom and Raquel posing in front of, we're from St. Louis.
The statue of St. Louis. It's in Forest Park.
Yeah. And everyone was like, it's the hot spot of St. Louis, which me and Dennis are cracking up because he's like, Forest Park, yes. But, like, you maybe think of the arch for St. Louis. Yeah. They weren't posing in front of it. But even that photo was a little bit weird to me, because it's like, who took that photo? Who is outing you guys? It's clearly someone in your guys' friend group, because that is a posed photo. And you guys are really that stupid to take a posed photo?
That was in December.
In December, yes. Good point.
December, like, after Christmas. And
this is so funny.
If you don't know, Sandoval's hometown is St. Louis.
Yes.
And what allegedly has been said is that, which stand-up citizens, Sandoval's parents and family were like, hey, like, this girl coming here and you, Raquel, and you potentially, like, I don't know what your deal is, like, you're with Ariana, but who is this girl? This? They're like, hey, we don't want to meet her. Mm-hmm. We don't condone you bringing somebody back home.
Those St. Louis values. That's what I'm saying. We love it.
When you're still dating someone else.
Yeah.
But also, who has either no brains or the balls to bring a different girl back home to your family around Christmas time when you are knowingly had been dating somebody for so long?
What? You don't bring your mistress home to your parents? Mr. and Mrs. Kluba?
Oh my gosh.
This is so-and-so?
This is Raquel.
Even though I'm dating Rachel?
Ariana? Yeah.
Rachel, Raquel? Who is it? Yeah. Which...
Insane.
Okay, this makes sense, though. In Tom Sandoval's eyes, him and Ariana were, I don't want to say done, but done.
It's the classic when two people are living separate, like almost living in separate houses.
Yeah.
Or living apart.
Yeah. But they were living in the same house.
But they weren't.
But they were living separate lives. Because in the Howie Mandel podcast, Howie Mandel and his daughter were there interviewing Tom Sandoval. And Sandoval goes into a lot of details, honestly, about the relationship and how they would go to weddings separately. They would go to a lot of different events separately. He didn't use the word roommates, but the way he was describing it, it sounded like they really just cohabitated. Yeah. They were not intimate at all. He really kind of brought that up multiple times, that they were not sexually intimate. They did not have any of that connection whatsoever anymore.
Which has been a theme on the show throughout seasons.
Yeah. And we've had this discussion too, because I was like, she kind of had a reasoning for it with her past relationships and everything. But for Tom, I think that's something he's definitely struggled with. So then he ends up detailing, though, the first time he kisses Raquel, which that happened in August, which does match up with Tom Schwartz with what he said on Watch What Happens Live. So I was like, good. The buddies at least linked up.
When you're getting interrogated, you got to keep your story straight.
August. Okay. Okay, we're in line. Which was before Schwartz and Raquel hooked up, because remember, I think it might have happened just recently in this new episode of the show. But anyways, they hooked up, made out at Sheena and Brock's wedding. My fan favorite.
Great wedding.
But yeah, he said that it was magnetic. I don't know why the description was cracking me up. He's like, our faces, just like a kiss in general. He's like, our faces, and he even puts his hands up. Our faces just kept getting closer and closer together the more that we said. And it was like magnetic. And then we kissed. And I'd never felt anything like that before. All logic went out the window, and I got my ass into therapy right away, is what he said. So he starts going to therapy, figuring out, like, how am I going to end things with Ariana? Ends up bringing her into couples therapy, which they were apparently in couples therapy before his trip to St. Louis. Yet you're still going on trips with other women.
Been there, done that.
Just a lot going on. And he really makes it seem like he tried to break up with Ariana multiple times. She put a blind eye to his relationship with Raquel, and he'd actually broken up with her on Valentine's Day. And that was one of many other times. And she had said, you're not breaking up with me. Like, if this is really what's going to happen, I'm not going to the reunion. Fuck the sandwich shop. I'm going to go off social media. I'm going to move away. And yeah, that was annoying to him, because he's like, that's not fair. Our friends, Tom Schwartz and Katie Maloney, have gone through a divorce. Raquel and James have gone through a breakup literally on a reunion, and you're just going to give up and quit because, shit hits the fan. Yeah. So a lot of it was like, she really turned a blind eye to this relationship. And there were so many hints that he tried to give her. And
it's kind of checking out.
Yeah. And in his opinion, like, they were really done. So the night where she saw the illicit messages, the night I was there, she saw the text messages from Raquel on his phone. Apparently that exact day, she had randomly asked Tom Sandoval, like, hey, like, do you want to check out your sperm for fertilizing my eggs?
Raquel asked that, or Ariana?
Ariana did. So then that really freaked him out, because he was like, we are not. At that point in time, he was like, when she found out, in my eyes, we were not together. We were only being, publicly for our reputations. We worked well together for our image. We worked better as a couple in that time.
Are you believing this? We're also taking the words from a serial cheater and liar,
which is what makes it hard. I think that there's probably some truth to both sides. I think that she definitely knew before the news broke, but was still equally as devastated. I think it really hit her truly when the news broke to the public, because that's when she finally had to deal with it. But I think that she had to have had some inklings, considering where the heck is your man? Like, where is he at all these different instances?
Nobody's this naive.
Yeah.
When people are gone, they're on trips by themselves. You two are on the outs of your relationship. Mm-hmm. It's not impossible to believe that there's someone else. Most people that are engaged, like mentally engaged, romantically engaged, are like, hey, where are you? What are you doing?
Yeah.
Who are you with?
And he said that too. He was like, at times I was like, have you noticed how distant I am? And she was like, really? Like, she was even
out of it,
checked out of the relationship in like the way he described it, at least.
Mm-hmm. Okay. And it has to be asked after this. So now Ariana is reportedly in talks, like last signings of the documents, the contracts, to be on Dancing with the Stars for ABC, parent company of Bravo. And then also
NBC is Bravo, ABC, but yeah. Because they were talking about some of those, like, is it going to be hard for her to
Good point.
double dip? But that's not that crazy because how many Real Housewives have been on that? How many? Yeah. Okay. Anyways.
And then she also is beginning, apparently, filming a Lifetime movie.
Yeah.
So, okay, this is the question I'm going to ask. Tom's story now, which I had originally was just like, cheater, terrible guy. I don't take that back. I think that's still true. Mm-hmm. But his story now to me is, did Ariana know this was happening, was denying it, in order to, for whatever time period, months or whatever, say, okay, the plan is going to be, I got cheated on, which I did, which she did, which is very true, I believe. And then we're going to immediately launch into press tour, Lifetime movie, Dancing with the Stars.
Yeah. Her getting cheated on is only benefiting her career.
Yes.
Honestly.
Yeah.
I still think she got cheated on, though.
I do. I think that's true.
And I still think Tom Sandoval is trash.
Yes.
And I think Raquel is right there with him, to be honest.
I would never say that about my girl.
But, yeah, you love Raquel. Red flag. I'm just kidding. No, I just think that these situations do get really sticky, and I think that they were just looking out for themselves, honestly. But I do think that being a part of a reality TV show, kind of what we were talking about with Taylor Swift, like, I think this news came out when it needed to or when it was supposed to, and whatever was going to generate the most buzz, which is what I've been getting annoyed at because I've been feeding into this. I've been obsessed with this story. And now I'm finding out that Lala and Sheena and Katie have all known since the summer. What? And Tom Schwartz said it was an open secret. And apparently Tom Sandoval says that everybody knew too, except for Ariana. And now I'm a little bit confused because I'm like, Ariana, like, now you're not looking that great. Because it's like, everybody apparently knew but you. I think she should, like, get her friends to shut their mouths because now they're all saying they knew. So then why didn't you tell your best friend? The same thing can go, just like they're calling out Schwartz. Why didn't you, like, call out Tom Sandoval? Why didn't any of your 3 best friends be like, dude, you're getting cheated on. Like, do something about this.
It's giving me,
like, what is going on with this?
Jersey Shore, last night at bed. You got to do something like that if that's the case, right? Yeah. And if everyone knew and they tried to say something to her and she just was denying it, that doesn't look great. Number 2, if she knew as well and now is using it to kind of capitalize at the right time, even though it was probably true, the cheating, etc., it just doesn't make her look as...
Yeah. But that's also Sandoval making himself look better. So, I don't know. I think there is a little bit of...
spinning stories.
Yeah.
Has to be. Spinning timelines,
Maybe she was a little bit in denial. I mean, that is almost 10 years of your life.
Yeah.
I would understand being in a little bit of denial. I give her some grace with that. I do.
I also didn't realize when I was reading through these stories that Raquel's 28.
Yeah, and he's 40.
That doesn't surprise me at all. But I didn't realize that, like, I think Ariana, is she 33?
She's, like, in her later 30s.
Okay. Kind of closer in age to Tom.
Yeah.
I didn't realize that.
Yeah. No, they're closer in age.
Yeah.
So, obviously, he's going to go for the younger.
But also, Raquel's been on the show for, like...
much later than Ariana, though.
Yes, I know. But, like, she had to have been on the show when she was, like, 25.
When she was definitely young. Because when she met James and started dating him, she was young. Yeah.
Okay.
But, like, I don't think she was until, like, season 5 or 6, where Ariana was maybe 2. 3. She was 3.
Yeah. But also, at the same time, did you ever know that... I never knew throughout the show, you've watched more recently than I have, that Ariana was, like, pursuing comedy or something, like acting? I never knew that she was an actress.
I don't know if they would outwardly speak about that, but, like, Katie also had those same, like, a lot of them have said they wanted to get into acting, but then they got this opportunity. So
and it's just, that's their career.
Yeah.
So interesting. Because, like, when she signed this Lifetime movie, I'm like, what?
A little bit random, but honestly, like, when you move to Hollywood, you're maybe hoping for acting and then you land reality TV. But
obviously, that's us too.
Yeah. But also, reality TV has grown so much in the past few years. Like, people are kind of making it more legitimate than it was maybe 10 years ago when they started Vanderpump Rules.
Real world.
Yeah,
or
it's like
whatever.
Okay. Yeah.
You can actually make a living off of this. Okay.
Totally.
I'm just interested. I gotta catch up because I want to see when this reunion actually airs.
Oh my gosh,
that's still coming.
We still got a few more episodes of this current season 10.
Gosh. Well, speaking of reality TV stars, Kim Kardashian has been nodded to join the new installment of the American Horror Story coming up.
Yeah, season 12. The season's going to be called Delicate. It's based on an upcoming novel called Delicate Condition. Yeah. So, like, the whole premise of it is about a pregnant woman who believes that these supernatural forces are trying to prevent her pregnancy. Anyways, that's what it's going to be about. And Emma Roberts is coming back. She hasn't been on the show for 4 years. Yeah. And Kim posted a clip, and it was basically like Emma Roberts and Kim. It's not her in the clip or anything like that, but she teased it.
Does anything surprise you anymore with Kim?
No, it doesn't. No. Because one, she's friends with so many people. Two, like, I just think that her status has just grown so much. She's not just a reality TV star. Like, she's hit into so many other avenues, realms of everything. So no, it doesn't surprise me.
I'm kind of scared because I do understand. I would say that a while back, there's some things that I would say, like, we made fun of her being a baby lawyer, etc. There were things where I was like jaded, like, oh, yeah, Kim Kardashian doing this. Like, what are you talking about? She's made, like you said, things so legitimate that, like, now I just, like, don't bat an eye. Yeah. Like, whatever she wants to do, do it.
But I think that does annoy people, kind of what you're saying. It's kind of like, of course. Like, of course. Yeah. But it's not that surprising because she kind of has, or her family has built this empire. Yeah. So it's not, like, she's been getting a ton of backlash, actually. American Horror Story has been getting a ton of backlash. Just saying, like, why would you put Kim Kardashian in this? She's not going to be a good actress. And I don't really understand that, though, because there's been a lot of celebrities who guest role in TV shows, period. Mm-hmm. But then also, when you talk about American Horror Story, you've had Lady Gaga be on it, Adam Levine, Naomi Campbell. You've had celebrity people join the show. Yeah. I don't know why people are so pissed off at Kim, other than the fact that, kind of what you're saying, it's like, we're mad because she gets everything she wants.
That's true. I don't know how she's going to be as an actress. Yeah. I did see that the person that's going to run the show, produce and direct it, did see how well she was responded to on SNL. Yeah. And I'm not naive enough to believe that when you're talking about ratings and just getting more people in seats watching your show, it's not a bad idea to throw one of the biggest stars in the world on your show. Yeah. It's just one of those things where it's like, hey, at the end of the day, it's a business. Mm-hmm. I hope she does really well. Yeah. I think that she will give a ton of effort and, like, will take it very seriously. I'm not worried about that. Yeah. I just don't know, like, fingers crossed that it goes well.
Yeah. And based on what we've seen, I think Kim does take her work very seriously. So personally, I think she will do well. Yeah. You know, she's done other acting where she's either played herself, she's done a few voiceovers for Paw Patrol, she's going to do the sequel with her daughter North. But I'm not mad about it, to be honest.
No, I don't think so either. Like you said, she'll at least try her hardest. Yeah. People are going to be bitter no matter what. Yeah. So you just kind of have to roll with the punches. Right. At the end of the day, people are going to tune in to watch because it's Kim. Either they're going to see her burn and fail or do really well.
Get killed.
On American Horror Story.
Isn't that what happens in that show? I don't watch it. I saw some tweets where they're like, we either want to see, oh my God, this is morbid. Either want to see her kill someone or get killed. We just got really dark quickly. That's literally the show, though.
That is, yeah.
Do you watch the show?
It's just a horror show.
Yeah. A little bit scary. A lot of killings, a lot of murders. Speaking
of scary things coming to Los Angeles, Tristan Thompson has been traded from the Chicago Bulls to the Lakers. This man won't leave. Just won't. He won't get out. Yeah. I don't know.
I mean, talking about connections with Kim, obviously knows Ryan Murphy for American Horror Story. Tristan got the end of the Lakers from LeBron. I just feel like LeBron definitely pulled some strings to make sure his bud Tristan came on over to the Lakers.
Could be. I think the funny thing is, too, going all the way back to when we first started the one of many cheating scandals, the one of the Marley Nichols down in Texas. Yeah. When he was, like, over the Snapchat text saying that he was I'm going to retire. Yeah. And here we are, a year and a half, 2 years later, he's, like, still getting traded. I was like, weren't you close to retiring? But obviously we know that was all just like a threat to be like, hey, I'm not going to give you any money, etc. Right. And of course, what we said before, this begs the question, Chloe likes the post from the Lakers that they just got Tristan Thompson. He's going to be back in Los Angeles more regularly.
Yeah. Even though he has been, though, because he didn't play this season. So he's been around.
He has been around. I'm sure still going to clubs and cheating and stuff like that. Or not cheating, but just doing his thing.
Because they're both single, yeah.
Yeah, allegedly. But now I'm just like, Chloe, can we not go back and do this?
See, I'm not mad at Chloe anymore. I'm like, she's chosen. I think they're back together, personally. I think they were at McDonald's last week. He bought a home 3 blocks away from her house in Hidden Hills. He's moving to the Lakers. Like, he wants to be closer to her and the kids. They were at Malika's birthday party together. Like, I just feel like there's too many things. Even though she's saying she's single, even though he's saying he's single, but hopeful. I just feel like
too many things lining up.
They're more than co-parents at the time. But I think she's really messing up here by being like, yeah, Lakers, you're going to be in LA. No, you just signed him up to go travel more. You just signed him up to go cheat more. And you guys are all happy right now because he's not playing for the NBA and he's not traveling and he's not seeing other women. But now she's like, yeah, I have full support of the Lakers. Where's he going to go?
This is like a full opposite switch of the Sandoval Ariana situation.
Yeah.
Gosh.
Don't you think?
I mean, yeah, I think you're completely right. Like you said, I didn't realize that he wasn't playing this past year.
No, he didn't play this season. Yeah.
Now that he's going to be playing more, I mean, that's where he's always gotten in trouble.
Yeah. They're working out right now because he's not traveling. He has all this time to commit to the family, to commit to Chloe. And now LeBron's like, yeah, come on, come play for the Lakers. He's like, okay, I'll come be a cheater again. Sign me up.
Oh my gosh. Okay, well, we'll have to keep an eye on what ends up happening there. I don't know that anybody will say that they're together or not, but
one final little thing before we move on from them, though. Easter, they spent, obviously, the Kardashian Jenners go ham on Easters, but they had this person decorate all of their Easter baskets, and Tristan is included, but Scott Disick is not. I'm saying every single person in that family. True. Like every kid, every person, every significant other, Travis Scott, everyone was included except for Scott Disick. And then in the photo, you could not see Kanye's name either. So I don't know if maybe like there was somebody blocking it, but I thought it was interesting. I'm like, Scott Disick is still the father of Kourtney's children. Even if he didn't have to attend, like I still feel like he maybe could have had a basket. And they include Tristan too, which also leads me to believe that they're back together. That's a good point. Too much.
There's so much hate on Scott's name these days.
I know. I'm like,
he was the best reality TV.
I get that she remarried, but also at the same time, it's like Travis is just now entering these kids' lives. Like you should still be making sure that even the dad's not going to be at every holiday.
Their biological fathers
still
recognized.
Keep him included. Yeah. Anyways, that annoyed me.
Interesting. Man, buddy. But more shame on internet trolls. Over the weekend, Halle Berry posted a tasteful nude.
Tasteful.
You know how I feel about nudes online.
Your favorite?
No. Tastefully done. Amazing. Not the emojis and just Britney Spears style.
Britney Spears.
But basically people were freaking out because she's 50 years old, saying that you shouldn't be doing this. You should be worried about being somebody's grandma or something like that, like going through menopause. And it's just, I think it's ridiculous.
Yeah. Basically saying that she was like being thirsty, asking for all this attention. And this one specific person though, because I would say that in a lot of the comments, she was getting praise. Like, yes, like you're gorgeous, you're beautiful. Obviously some positive reinforcement there, but there's always that one troll that likes to, or multiple trolls usually, but there's one that really stuck out where he said, imagine being in your 50s still posting nudes for attention in menopause when you should be chilling with the grandkids. Aging with dignity is no longer a thing. And she clapped back and said, did you guys know the heart of a shrimp is located in its head?
I don't really understand that.
Okay, that's why I said it with a question mark.
Question mark? Basically
like a shrimp. I don't know. You're not using your head.
My heart's in my head.
I'm a shrimp.
I don't know.
I don't know. But also people were responding well to that and be like, clap back queen. Like, really?
Okay. But she looks amazing.
She looks great. on a balcony, sipping that wine. Me when I'm 50.
We're here for it.
I'm here for it.
That's what I'm saying.
I don't know why people are so pissed though. Like we saw Kate Hudson. We talked about her when she posted that topless photo drinking her coffee. We've seen other actresses. I mean, even if you want to talk about the Kardashians, Kim and Kourtney have posted some quote unquote inappropriate photos, and they're in their 40s.
Yeah,
it's not far off from 50.
Kim made her name off of them.
It's a little sex tape, but she was in her 20s then. This is an ageism. What's the part? Ageist.
This is an ageist. Yeah, no, I'm here for it. I hope that like people can get over this kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Like
people always have something negative to say.
Always have something.
Take it with a grain of salt.
But I think that about wraps it up for this week's episode, right?
I think so too. Thanks for listening. For any updates, at Playing Telephone on Instagram, TikTok, and we're also uploading
episodes on YouTube.
Woo! Thanks for listening.
Woo. Thanks for listening. See you next week. Bye.
Bye.